Hello, my peoples, and welcome to another episode of Otaku Labs. I am here with my fellow Dragonball enthusiasts,
Elder Tenchi,
and JJ Dogfire.
and today's episode will be a what if rewrite. What if Super Saiyan 4 was brought into Dragon Ball Super?
and for any newcomers to the channel, thank you. Welcome to On the Brain Entertainment. Otaku Labs is a discussion podcast focusing on otaku culture, everything from manga, anime, light novels, fan fiction, whatever. So welcome, and
Please enjoy. Make sure you subscribe and like it down below. Make sure you hit that notification button so we can Kamehameha everything.
What he said. All right, let's go.
We are going to be introducing Super Saiyan 4 into the Dragon Ball Super universe, but it will not be called Super Saiyan 4.
Well, tell us your thoughts on it. I know you gave me a couple cliff notes here and there, but I want to hear how you feel this transformation can fit into Super, and how do you think it should be brought about?
Well, before we do that, just really quick, I just want to talk about how this topic was brought about. It was inspired by a video essay I had watched where the narrator was basically saying how he dislikes GT, but he enjoys it for another reason. But as far as Super Saiyan 4, he says it was a literal butt pull. And if you look at, I'm just paraphrasing, but if you really look at it, that's literally what it was. That's exactly what it was. It wasn't earned. It wasn't, it wasn't talked about before they pulled before they pulled Goku's tail out of his butt. That's the only time it was mentioned. Then he got the power. Every other thing that he ever had, everything from the Kaioken to Super Saiyan Blue was all earned. So that's why.
Not God.
But God had to have a ceremony.
And 4 has to have a tail.
Yeah. If he had his tail beforehand, it would have made more sense. But no, they had to literally pull it out. It was a dire situation, and they had to rush through it. That's bad writing. We enjoyed it for what it was at the time.
It was the best fucking power up they ever had.
But think about it in context, especially knowing that he was still little Goku. He couldn't handle the power of a Super Saiyan 3, but yet Super Saiyan 4. So that's what that brought up. So that's what brought that up for me. I mentioned it to Zilla. Next thing you know, we spent like 2 days writing what we would think the Super Saiyan 4 would be like if they, number one, rewrote it in GT and brought it into Super. So that's what brought up this
GT one we're not really
conversation.
going to talk about because honestly, there's really no way of fixing it. Really, there is no way of fixing it for GT because of the way it was written.
I think it's because of the tail.
There's where the hang-up is.
That's all it is. But
do you have any opinions on that one, Mr. Darkfire?
No, I'm with you guys so far. Yeah, Elder Tenchi. As he said, it was literally an ass grab. They pulled the tail out of his ass because it was cut off so long ago. And in order to incorporate this new transformation, which his little body couldn't maintain Super Saiyan 3, it wasn't resilient enough, but his tail magically gave him an adult body when he got the transformation on Planet Tuffle.
yeah, and I'm not saying I don't like the form. I'm not saying that I didn't enjoy it because I had the tapes. I watched it all the time. I'll still enjoy it today. But
in the scenario of trying to incorporate it into Dragon Ball Super, I would sooner say keep the origin story of how Goku came to Earth, but let him keep his tail from the beginning, since this would literally make sense to how he could achieve this next level of transformation after undergoing all of this training and finally, accepting
his Saiyan heritage?
His Saiyan heritage.
Well, once he finds out he's a Saiyan to begin with?
Right, but he finds out he's a Saiyan, after
Raditz.
Correct.
Yeah, but we're playing this in the Super, so
Right, but I was just saying from the perspective, let him keep his tail instead of letting him lose it from the beginning.
So
No,
that requires you to basically
rewrite the whole series.
all of Z up until
Okay,
now.
but if we're incorporating into Super, wouldn't we want him to already have his tail?
No, we want to try to stick to the true canonization of Super to try to introduce this form.
So
Just let me explain.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna wind up pulling somewhat of a Kai thing, but not a Kai thing with it, with the tail. All right. Okay, first off, we have this whole new arc coming out with the Galactic Patrol prisoners. This is where our villains of this arc will be from. We're going to be introducing Baby, but not the Baby that you guys know. He will be a psychic villain that has a control of another surviving Saiyan of massive power. Broly 2.0. And also known as Cumber.
Broly 2.0.
So, when Goku and Vegeta hear of this, right? You know, we take them to wherever these guys are so they can fight it out. You know, Goku. Ooh, strong guys, let's go. Clock, clock. Vegeta's just going to cover Goku's ass for when he fucks up. It's normally true, ain't it? Yeah. If you really look at it, Vegeta's just a cover. No offense to all you Vegeta fans out there, because I mean, I have more respect for Vegeta than I do Kakarot.
Especially since he's had the most development in Super.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, as a character in general.
So here we go. You know, Baby and Cumber wind up on another habited planet. We shall call this planet Planet Kruger.
Kruger?
C-R-G-R. Kruger. I mean K-R-G-R. Kruger. Planet Kruger. It's the working name of the planet. And, you know, Baby's has his mind control on Cumber. They're destroying the planet, you know, the inhabitants, everything. Yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
And so Whis and Beerus take Goku and Vegeta to this planet. Goku gets super excited, not thinking right away, and bum rushes Cumber. Cumber's getting, you know, if you saw Heroes, Cumber does a little power-up thing where he breaks through his little straitjacket and just starts pounding the shit out of Kakarot.
Mm.
Kakarot powers up, gets his ass kicked more. Powers up again, gets his ass kicked more. Powers up to God, gets his ass handed to him. Then powers up to Blue. Someone on equal playing field starting to overpower Cumber. Cumber powers up to Super Saiyan. Or Super Saiyan 3, whatever you guys want to fucking call it. It was whatever form he had fighting in Heroes. And now he's on equal terms. Goku powers up with Kaioken, constantly going back and forth. Cumber slams Goku to the ground, and then Vegeta jumps in. Going back and forth, and then all of a sudden Cumber jumps back. And he's got this evil glare in his eye. And Baby screams down to Cumber, do it. Cumber makes a Bloodwave ball, the artificial full moon, throws up into the air. Now y'all might be thinking, he's going to become a regular Ozaru. No. He becomes Golden Ozaru. Goku and Vegeta fuse into Gogeta. Can't handle the power. They burn through the fusion. Right? So, in a last bit of attempt, Whis teleports them both back to Earth. And they're all confused. What's going on? How does he have that kind of power? And Whis goes, it's got to be something about you Saiyans with the tails. Your tails have to have more meaning than what you originally thought. Right? Mm-hmm. So, Whis is thinking about it. So, what does Whis do? He asks, who wants to volunteer for this experiment? Right? To make him stronger? Mm-hmm. And Vegeta's like, no, tail's just going to be another weakness. And Goku, not thinking like Goku, all right, I can get stronger, let's do this. They go to the Super Dragon Balls. Nah, I'm not going with Super Dragon Balls because that's going to take years to collect or whatever it's going to be. They go to Namek and they wish for Goku's tail back.
Or, and I'm just saying this because Whis has become the Deus Ex Machina of the show.
What, you think you just walks, taps him on the butt, there's your tail?
Yeah.
No, he can't. If we can bring Frieza to life,
like if he can bring, if he can bring Frieza back to life, if he could,
that should be like nothing to him.
If he can go backward,
yeah. Okay, I see where you're coming from. Okay, we'll do that.
You know that would make more sense than wasting a wish on it. I'm just.
No, I see. I agree. Actually, I do like that idea. See, we all work together good.
Mm-hmm.
So Whis walks up and just takes not the pointy end, the round end of it, and just smacks Goku in the butt. And there's the tail.
But here's the thing. Unlike the GT part of it, where it became a liability until he transformed into Super Saiyan 4, Goku has to learn how to.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I went ahead and stomped on you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm getting there. So Goku's looking at his tail, holding it like, "Hi, old friend." If he would say something like that, right? And then Whis goes, "Okay, let's go train. Where are we going?" The realm of spirit and time, not the room. Realm. I don't know what they call it in Super.
They still call it hyperbolic time chamber.
All right, so we'll go to the realm of spirit and time. We're going to train for 5 years. Straight. 5 days. And in that 5 years, we'll see how strong you get with your tail. And Goku's like, awesome. And they go. 5 days pass. Vegeta does his normal amount of training. He can try to get stronger. And so Whis takes him back to that planet. Now that planet is almost completely taken over by Baby. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I don't have the story take place on Earth. I just figured it'd be much better to stick out with,
with actually going to another planet.
Yeah, unfortunately because of Frieza and shit. So, Goku and Cumber start fighting. They're on par with each other, base forms. Right? Because of all the training Goku did. They're fighting. Cumber powers up to Super Saiyan, slams Goku. Goku still has not fully mastered the tail, technically. Even though he had 5 years of training. So, he stumbles back and looks at Vegeta and says, "Vegeta, you remember that trick from when you first came to Earth?" And Vegeta's like, "Oh, you sneaky dog." As a throwback to Vegeta versus Goku in the Blood Ball. And so Vegeta threw it up. Goku transforms into the Golden Uzaru.
Now, at this point, he's never done this before. He spent 5 years in the...
He didn't become the Uzaru in the training. There's the hang-up. There's the hang-up. He did not become an Uzaru in the training. He just trained with the tail.
Mm-hmm.
How to help boost his power.
Right.
He never trained in Uzaru form.
So
as soon as he becomes Uzaru, you can basically hear Beerus go, "He's lost it!" And Goku starts destroying the planet. And Vegeta's trying to get to him. He just gets swatted away. He fucking shoots his little fire beam ball at Baby. Baby dodges, which pisses Cumber off. Cumber becomes Golden Uzaru. And now you've got a Kong vs. Kong style match going on. Uzaru wrestling.
Except, wouldn't Cumber have a little more control over the...
Yeah. Cumber's not going berserk.
Right, whereas Goku...
is in full berserk mode. Right?
I'm seeing this in my head.
And they're wrestling to the ground, all that. Cumber picks Goku up, slams him on the ground. Goku rolls back around, hits him with a left hook. Right? And Vegeta couldn't get through to him. Beerus couldn't get through him. And Whis is like, who can we get through to him? And Goku's like, try Bulma. Whis goes back to Earth to get Bulma. Comes back to the planet with Bulma. Bulma's like, how do I reason with that? How do I reason with that if he can't hear me? So, as this is going on, they're still wrestling and all that. Baby comes down and kicks the shit out of Vegeta. Whis says, I'm not involved in this. Right? So Baby turns his eyes toward Bulma. Goku sees this, because it's not hard to miss that blue hair. Right?
Uh-huh.
And starts growling. heads toward Baby. And all Baby did was smack her. And all of a sudden you see Goku roar back. Like he did in GT with Pan. And, you know, you see in his head where when Goku's going this way and all that. And it's sort of like his mind's at war right now. And Cumber's backing off because now he can feel Goku's power rising. So, as Goku is still he's in control, but not fully control. He starts to glow like he did in GT, right? Next thing you know, you see lightning flashing, blasting all around him, and the ground caving in toward him. Like how the mountain collapsed. Mm-hmm. And then as the smoke and everything starts clearing, you see red fur. You see the mane. I'm calling it a mane. I don't give a fuck. The black mane.
You call it a mane, it's hair. Yeah.
Right? And Vegeta's looking over and he's like, what is that form? It is so primal. Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Right? And all of a sudden, Goku's eyes glow red and he flies toward Cumber, giving him one good left hook, slamming him into the ground, and then turns his attention to Baby. With a mighty roar, flies up to Baby, starts pounding the shit out of Baby. Right? And all of a sudden, I mean, he's giving it to him good. Next thing you know, he turns back toward the pile of rubble where he slammed Cumber. Cumber starts doing the same thing he was. Powering up, powering up, powering up. And all of a sudden you get, the same rehash of the scene. Smoke clears, you see Cumber. Brown fur, red hair. Not going to have them the same looks. Right? And they tear into each other. I mean, tear into each other. Crevices there, Kamehameha there, whatever the fucking power beam Cumber uses there. And then out of nowhere, and this fight's going for a long, long time. Next thing you know, you hear Cumber roar back. And there's Vegeta behind him with the Vegito-style energy beam sword. Cut off Cumber's tail. And all of a sudden, Cumber depowers. And with one mighty blast of the Kamehameha, there's no more Cumber.
Okay.
And then Barris goes up to Whis, Hakai. Not Whis. To Baby and Hakai's him. Because of the psychic control that Baby has.
What do you think?
Honestly, I like it. It kind of gives us a reason for Super Saiyan 4's existence to begin with, or Primal. And honestly, I just like the name. Because if you look at every other...
Did you notice? No acknowledgement of Super Saiyan at all. That's Primal.
Right. Now, one thing that every Super Saiyan form, with the exception of God and Blue, had, is each time a Saiyan got another form, his mind went blank for a while, right? He had to learn how to control the form to begin with. This is a whole nother power in general because it's incorporating the Ozaru strength into what we would call a Super Saiyan, right? So that's why Goku doesn't have any control. Besides that, even when he's transformed into ape man, he doesn't have control at first. So it also gives us a reason for the tail, besides just to absorb Blux waves, because the tail is essentially the lightning rod to absorb all that energy.
And when you lose the tail, you lose the form. That's why I went that route in order to defeat Cumber. And you liked how I brought the whole Vegito sword into it, didn't you? The spirit sword.
That was pretty cool.
I said Vegeta was doing his own training, right? I didn't say on what, though.
You said Vegeta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was doing the Vegito sword.
It's Q control.
Yep.
Please let us know in the comments down below. And tell us what you think.
But in the meantime, thank you all for listening. Check us all out here on YouTube, on our SoundCloud feed. Big ups to SoundCloud, Anchor. We're on Instagram. Everything on the Brain ENT. And we will catch you on the next episode of Otaku Labs.
Make sure you collect them Dragon Balls and prepare that wish.
Peace.
Love.
Later.